weather geeks out there at weloveweather.tv.
After days of rain, the sun is finally shining across much of the Northeast today. You're looking live at Providence, Rhode Island, but just when you thought the rain was gone for good, you have another system approaching. That's the unfortunate side to things. Chris?
All right, we're looking at the potential for some more action here in the Northeast, but fortunately it doesn't look like it's bad as it could have been. Providence, Rhode Island, this is a look at your forecast for tonight through Friday. Showers, then things are going to dry out. Temperatures going to be in the 50s overnight and lower 60s, and we're going to be watching a storm that eventually is going to develop off of the northeast coast. However, it does not appear at this time that it's going to be close enough to do any massive problems. The storm is expected to stay offshore, but still getting close enough that we could have some gusty winds and potentially some showers. And that's what we're seeing right here is the chance for some rain, generally up to about an inch. That would be the high end, but some areas are likely going to stay dry now through Friday. And Boston, not so much. You're one of the candidates there for a chance of some showers tomorrow night and into Friday. It's that time of year, time for the tropical update. Storm specialist Carl Parker is here with a look at that.
Yeah, we're going to be watching the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific over the next couple of weeks here as the models have been hinting that we might see something developing in those areas. And one feature that we watch at this time of the year is called the monsoon trough. It's an area of converging wind and lower pressures now extending through the Eastern Pacific and also across Central America and into South America. And this thing will move. It will change its position over many days. And one thing that we see along that monsoon trough is converging winds and winds coming out of different directions. So you see the winds coming out of the south and the west there, just south of Central America, and then coming out of the east through there. And that's the easterly trade winds. And so where those converging winds meet, we get a general area of rotation along that monsoon trough. And so that can be a birthplace for tropical systems. It's an area that we tend to watch very carefully. Now, that having been said, as we look at one of our long-term global models, we see a little something coming out of that that's showing you the low-level spin in the atmosphere going into this weekend, then perhaps coming up through Central America and weakening after that time, and then maybe something else developing in the wake of that, and maybe something else in the wake of that going into next weekend. And what's interesting about this is that even though none of these systems seem to be terribly strong, we do think the conditions are going to be favorable for tropical development because of something that is called the Madden-Julian oscillation. And it's a wave, a planetary scale wave that travels from west to east around the equator, and it takes a very long time to do this, about every 1 to 2 months. And it's got a couple of branches. One is the enhanced convection branch, in which you see rising air that flows up and then out at higher levels, and then you have a suppressed phase in which you tend to get clearer sky and a lot of sinking air and not much tropical development. But keep this in mind right in here. Notice how as you have the enhanced phase, you have air that comes up and out and then moves off towards the west there. So that's an easterly wind aloft on the back side of that enhanced phase. And remember, we have easterly winds in the low levels. So if you've got easterly winds aloft and easterly winds in the low levels, then they're moving in the same direction and you reduce the wind shear. So it's usually on the back side of these areas of enhanced precipitation where we find the greatest potential for tropical development. It can really be anywhere within them, but especially on the back side because you've got that enhanced area of convection. You've got the lift in the atmosphere, the rising motion, that's a big part of it, the moisture, but then you've also got that reduced wind shear. So we see that the back side of this next enhanced phase is right there from June 8 to 14, and then it's right in here from June 15 to 21. So what that's telling us is that right around the middle of the month, which is when the model is indicating we might see something developing, right around that time we're going to see this MJO pulse moving through, and so there is reason to believe that there could be something developing at that time. Liana, over to you.
All right, and finally, some good news for areas that have seen nonstop rain and dark clouds. Sunshine is in your forecast. Get ready for this. Some places will see temps skyrocket into the 90s and hundreds.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under sunny skies. This afternoon, sunny, high 82. Winds light and variable. Tonight, mainly clear, low 55. Winds light and variable. Thursday, a mainly sunny sky. High 83. Winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Coming up on Weather Center Live, rain and more rain on the way. Already round after round of heavy soaking rain for Florida, and the result, flooded roads, making it tough to get around. More storms are on the way coming up when you could finally see some drier days.
Plus, it's Creature Week here on the Weather Channel. Today, it's all about alligators and bears. Find out what's causing more encounters with the dangerous creatures, and the experts weigh in what you should do when you see one.
This is Weather Center Live in the lab. It's the top of the hour. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren.
And I'm meteorologist Leona Brackett. Rounds of soaking rain and storms across much of Florida this week. It's helpful to the state's drought, but so much rain causing flooding problems in some spots. On Marco Island, drivers trying to navigate flooded streets this time yesterday. And the thing is, even more rain is on the way today. A flood watch is currently in effect from now through 8 p.m. And Chris has the latest.
Yeah, we have some new video we want to show you right now, and I guess maybe trying to make the best of it or finding a new way to get around here. This is in Broward County, and this guy got out his paddleboard. You can tell it looks like some flooded area when you see the water going right into the grass. When you see the blades of grass coming up there, you can tell that there's some flooded water and more than just a pond or a little inlet or whatever the case may be. And the reason for scenes like that is this. There is quite a bit of rain that has been coming down from the skies over the past 3 days. This is the radar estimated rainfall, and you can see the areas in yellow, orange, red, and purple. Those are some of the highest rainfall totals. 2-day rainfall totals measured. Those were radar estimates based on the rate of the rain coming down and the intensity. But this is a look at the measured rainfall over 2 days. And some areas, including Marco Island there, close to 20 inches. Many spots an inch and an inch and a half for a few locations as well. And that heavy rain coming down right now in some of the same areas that have had it for a while. We saw it with the radar estimates, and still a lot more coming down at the moment. So taking a look, we're kind of a round robin right now across the Florida Peninsula. Eye on you here, Jacksonville. As you can see, we're looking at some rain off to the north and to the west, eventually going to be moving in for you in Jacksonville. A little bit farther to the south, Fort Myers to Naples in the yellow, the heavier rain. It's still waiting on more rain in Miami. It's just a matter of time. Flood watch is currently posted for North Florida and parts of South Florida as well, and more rain on the way. And you can see where those flood watches are. Goes along with some of the higher rainfall totals. And outside of those areas, it's also possible we could see pockets potentially of several inches as well. And that's just how it sort of goes in Florida. You can say with our best forecast that some areas can get this amount of rain, but Carl, in that rain in Florida, you can get these isolated pockets that get crushed.
Absolutely. You've got a tremendous amount of what is called precipitable water, the amount of moisture that's in the atmosphere, and in fact it's been on the high end of the scale in terms of what we've seen in the past there in South Florida in the last couple of days. So you've got this big mass of storms now coming right across Alligator Alley, and there is some shear out ahead of these storms, some low-level shear, which is to say that we've got winds coming out of the south-southwest at the surface right in there, just like that. And then you've got your winds coming more directly out of the southwest at about 5,000 feet up and more quickly. That's a wind of about 35 miles per hour right there. So there is some low-level shear, and we have seen some rotation in some of these storms. There is some threat for tornadoes along with damaging wind here, and we've got a severe threat across the entire state as well as into South Georgia for today. But but the huge impact, of course, has been the tremendous heavy rain through a lot of the state. The big upper low now just off to the west, right in there. And along with that, you've got this incredible feed of moisture, which has been emanating from positions much, much farther to the south, all the way from Central America. You can see where it's coming up here just east of Belize, and now coming from Honduras right up and across Florida. Very deep tropical moisture being drawn into the state day after day. It took a couple of days for that upper low to make its way just across the Gulf of Mexico, which is why we've seen so much rain so far. So looking at the model forecast going forward, we're going to watch this big mass of storms make its way slowly across and into South Florida through this evening, and into the overnight hours it begins to thin out. We may see some additional showers even tomorrow, but it's going to be that initial big mass of rain that produces most of the heavy rain going forward. And we're talking about a pretty sizable area of 3 to 5 inches of rain, which generally is not that much for Florida. They've got very sandy, very porous soil that can handle a lot of water, but we've had so much rain in the last couple of days, it is going to be enough to cause some flooding in some areas, especially if it comes down very quickly. Liana?
All right, thanks, Carl. We're going to stay in Florida, taking a live view at Tampa right now, 78 degrees. You've seen rounds and rounds of rain and storms throughout today, and the good news is showers are expected to taper off tomorrow night, but then you're looking at more rain on the way by this weekend. So clouds are definitely moving into the area, and we're going to take a closer look at the past 24 hours for you, Tampa. We've had pretty quiet times earlier, about this time yesterday, but in the past 6 hours, maybe in the past 7 hours, we've really seen that huge spike where we saw about a good 1.5 inches of rain just fall across the area. For Tampa, our forecast is staying very stormy as we get through the day tomorrow morning, and then you get a break on Friday, but then those storms roll through again by this weekend. Here's a look at how much rain you can expect. Overall, we're looking at least about 2 to 3 inches, and overall about 1 inch right in the immediate Tampa area, and then further out, there's that 2 to 3 inches range. Orlando, similar story. You have that threat for thunderstorms continuing all the way through this weekend. You don't really get much of a break. You see Friday with a more lesser chance of thunderstorms with the more hit or miss natured showers. And then here's a closer look at Orlando. You had over the past 5 days about 2 to 3 inches alone. And tomorrow or today you can expect another 1 inch, followed by another ½ inch for tomorrow. You get a break on Friday and Saturday before the rain really rolls in with another ½ inch by Sunday. Fort Lauderdale, similar story, thunderstorms all the way through. And notice those temperatures don't really change all that much. They stay in the mid 80s, so it's definitely feeling very tropical with all these downpours across the area. Expect closer to 2 to 3 inches closer to Miami. And this is from now ending Sunday night. And we're taking a closer look at Key West. Key West, the past 24 hours, you saw almost 2 inches of rain. This is 1.74 inches with a huge spike in the past 6 hours. And this just into us. Check out this photo of a tornado in North Dakota. This is from Haddon, North Dakota in the last hour. No word on damage right now. It was a fairly rural area, as you can see out there. The tornado watch is currently in effect for right now through this evening, and another one cannot be ruled out.
With Scotch Blue Platinum Painter's Tape, you can prep any angle quicker and easier. 3M's advanced poly material helps stop paint seepage, and it's easy to remove in one long pull, so you can pull off a better paint job. Scotch Blue Platinum Painter's Tape.
Spokesperson for Barron & Budd. Attention, if you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call Barron & Budd right now. Over $30 billion has been set aside for mesothelioma victims.
Call Barron & Budd for a free consultation right now. Your family may qualify for a share of the billions of dollars already in these trust funds, even if your loved one has passed on.
Mesothelioma is a horrific disease that no one deserves. It makes life extremely hard on you and your entire family. Call Barron & Budd. They know the struggles of caring for someone with mesothelioma.
You don't have to sue anyone. Billions of dollars in trust funds are waiting to compensate victims of mesothelioma.
Make things easier for your whole family. Call Barron & Budd. The call and advice are free.
Call 1-800-886-9605, 1-800-886-9605, or visit talkmeso.com.
It's the Phillips lady.
Anyone ever have occasional constipation, diarrhea, gas, or bloating?
She does.
Help defend against those digestive issues. Take Phillips Colon Health Probiotic Caps daily with 3 types of good bacteria. 400 likes? Wow.
Try Phillips Colon Health.
With the free Golf Now app, instantly book tee times. Earn rewards for every round. Get accurate GPS yardages. Keep score for your group. And track your game stats. Why buy it when you can have it all for free? Get the Golf Now app today.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, mainly clear, low 55, winds light and variable. Thursday, a mainly Thursday night, a mostly clear sky, low 58, winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
What makes me a weather geek, the fact that I love the weather, especially when it's hit me in the side of the face.
I'm gonna ride this one out, guys.
Be one of the thousands of weather geeks out there at weloveweather.tv.
With Crizal No Glare lenses, neither scratch, nor smudge, nor glare of night can keep you from the clearest vision possible. Plus, Crizal gives you the most comprehensive UV protection. Crizal No Glare lenses. Live life in the clear.
Hey, are you taking the tissue test? Yep. And my teeth are yellow.
Time for white strips.
Crest White Strips whiten 25 times better than a leading whitening toothpaste.
Nice smile. Thanks. I crushed the tissue test.
Crest. Healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
Hello. Let's go for a ride on a Peloton. Let's go grab a couple thousand friends and chase each other up a hill. Let's go make a personal best, then beat it with your personal better than best. Let's go bring the world's best instructors right to you. Better yet, let's go bring the entire New York studio live. Let's go anytime, anywhere, with anyone who's willing. And let's go do it all right here. Ready to go? Peloton.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. We're taking you live to Minneapolis, where we're having a mix of sun and clouds today. It looks like the sunshine's really winning out for right now. High temps climbing into the mid-80s, but by the weekend, say hello to the 90s, because we're talking about a heat wave starting to pick up across the Midwest. And you're not alone, Minneapolis. You're going to be in very good company across the area. But let's take a look at the temperatures right now. We're seeing temperatures at 84 in Fargo, 86 in Minneapolis, 76 in Rapid City, 84 in Omaha, and 82 in Scottsbluff. And it's all because we have this amplification in the atmosphere. It's a lot of heat is expected to continue late this week, and it really amplifies even more across the area by this weekend, while the Pacific Northwest stays on the cooler side. So check out how much of the country is seeing very warm temperatures. We have high pressure that's just going to churn around and still help circulate and reinforce all that hot air that's already in place. These are temperatures in the 90s. They're 90s and above. We can even see some triple digits in there as well. By this weekend, we're expecting highs 15 to 25 degrees above average for the Midwest. So we're taking a look at those more details across the area for tomorrow. 82 in Kansas City. Friday, now we're starting to see warmer temperatures, 90 in Dodge City, 87 in Oklahoma City. As you see these shades of really pinks, bright pinks and almost white, these are the temperatures in the triple digits. Now we're talking about hundreds in Amarillo, 92 in Kansas City, 97 in Grand Island by Sunday, 96 in Dodge City, and 99 in Amarillo. Come Sunday, we can expect some records to be falling across the area. All these dots represent some cities that could be seeing some potential records, honing in on the Midwest. We have Minneapolis getting close to a record high of 96 degrees for Sunday. Sioux Falls getting close. Sioux City, you might actually tie your record high of 99 degrees. And Des Moines, you might be breaking your record. 98 is our forecast, while the record high is 97 degrees. We're going to take a closer look at a couple more spots. Minneapolis, your forecast is looking very, very warm, getting close to 100 comes the weekend. 97 for Saturday and 95 for Sunday. As we get into Oklahoma City, your average high for this time of the year is 86. 86 degrees. We're going to stay right about average until we hit that peak in the 90s by this weekend. Chris?
All right, Leon, I got a question for you. If you live in the Northeast, are you ready for some warmer temperatures? You're getting some pretty nice looking skies right now in Boston and New York City, assuming you like to look at the blue sky there. New York's on the left, looking south on Manhattan there. And on the right, looking over the Charles River with blue sky in downtown Boston. Looking pretty nice there. You know what else is going to be nice? If you like the heat in Boston, temperatures warming up close to 90 on Sunday, but maybe the 70s is more your gig here in Boston. Temperatures going to be into the 70s Thursday and then again on Saturday, but a little bit of a heat wave for early next week for parts of the Northeast. And much of the country going to be seeing midweek and late in the week going to be seeing either average temperatures or warmer than average temperatures, with the exception of the West Coast there. And by the weekend, that heat starts to really move into the Great Lakes and the Northeast. Tomorrow, lower 70s from New York to Boston. Here's Friday's forecast for you. Temperatures still in the 70s, but starting to see some areas in the 80s, including D.C., but how quickly you go from the 80s to the 90s in D.C. on Saturday. Sunday's forecast right around 90 now in New York, 89 in Boston. So things are really starting to warm up. And let's take a look at Washington, D.C. Again, 90s by this weekend and early next week. So we're looking at a real deal heat wave here. Sunday through at least Wednesday, temperatures are going to be into the 90s for you. And this is on Monday going to be close to record heat in some spots. These areas right here, all these red dots, are spots that potentially could be seeing record high temperatures. Liana?
And stay with us. Coming up on Creature Week here at the Weather Channel, we're going to be talking about sharks, alligators, and hippos, and how to save yourself if you're ever face to face with danger. That's coming up next.
Colon cancer screening for people 50 and older at average risk.
I think it's time for a new screen. For a different kind of screen. For colon cancer. Thought about it? His wife asked about screening options, and her doctor ordered me. I'm Cologuard, the non-invasive test you use at home.